Today's story, I think it's really something because it was said to be the first and only supernatural event officially acknowledged by the Hong Kong government. So buckle up, I am going to walk you through the whole story. So it was on December 1987. One day, a restaurant in the New Territories district in Hong Kong received a call of ordering some traditional food like fried rice and fried noodles, which about the portion of 4 people's takeout order. And the delivery was to be sent in a villa in the Happy Garden Estates, which is located in Fanling, Dai Po Ti. So, when the restaurant delivery guy arrived at the address, he knocked on the door, stated his purpose, and after waited like 20 seconds or so, the door was slowly opened a narrow crack, and a human hand holding the money reached out from the gap. And also, a deep male voice, like from behind the door, said that,
"Here is your money. Just leave the food on the ground."
So the delivery guy did what he said, took the money back to the restaurant and put the money in the cash box. So at night, as the restaurant closed, the owner counted today's earning from the cash box. But suddenly, he found a stack of joss paper in the cash box. Joss paper, which is also known as ghost money, is a traditional Chinese sacrificial items. Chinese people will burn the ghost paper on Qingming Festival, which is the Chinese ghost festival, to honor our ancestor. Like burning the joss paper also has another meaning, is that letting our ancestor has enough money to use in another world. So when the boss saw this, first, he thought it was a prank by one of his employees. So he gathered all of them and questioning them. And of course, everyone denied it, but there's no further evidence. The boss had to just let it be. Here comes the next day. Strangely, the same scenario repeated again. The owner, like when he counted today's earning, he found another stack of joss paper in the cash box again. And this time he was a little bit angry because it was the second time, right? So, he started to get serious and questioning the staffs like one by one. And after that, he noticed that specific call from the same number, ordering the same food, delivered to the same address as yesterday. Because of the local culture, at that time, people in Hong Kong mostly like believe in feng shui. So the boss gets a little bit suspicious about this call. And then he decided, like, if they got the same call again tomorrow, he would personally go deliver the food by himself. And sure enough, on the third day, the restaurant received the same order again. And this time, the boss decided to deliver the order on his own. So when he arrived at the villa, he knocked the door. As expected, someone handed him the money through the door crack. And the boss was like trying to take a look at the person behind the door. So he peeked through that small opening crack, but he saw nothing but darkness. So finally, he double-checking the money he received was 100% Hong Kong dollars. So he put down the food and returned to the restaurant. When he's back to the restaurant, I have to say he's quite smart because he placed the money separately in another cash box. Okay, here comes the night. The restaurant closed. He was counted the money again. But then he saw that the money he received personally by himself had already turned into gauze paper. So at this time, the boss was like terrified and immediately called the police. So the Hong Kong police quickly went to the villa at the Happy Garden Estates. And despite they kept knocking and ringing the bells, there was no response. So finally, they broke down the door and entered the house. But after they entered, they discovered 4 decomposing bodies on the floor. It was clear that these bodies had been dead for at least 1 week, like a couple of days for sure. So the police quickly sealed off the scene and start the investigation. But when they questioning the neighbors, the police were met with the most shocking response. Because all neighbors claimed that they couldn't even imagine anyone died in that villa, because they all heard very clear sound of mahjong, which is a Chinese poker game, being shoved late at night. So they thought the people just playing the mahjong in that villa these days. And not just one neighbor said, but several neighbors who lived nearby all testified. At the time, the police didn't know how to continue the case, so they brought the bodies back to complete the autopsy first. But however, later, the autopsy revealed something even more disturbing. Because the contents of their stomachs, the body stomachs, showed food that had been consumed within the last 48 hours. But these people have been dead for over 1 week, right? So this directly contradicted the established theory of human body digestion will stop after death. And the food was exactly what they've ordered from the restaurant for the past 3 days. So at that time, this incident attracted many media's attention, because while the police could provide the medical examiner's findings, they couldn't offer like a clear explanation for the events. And because of that, like this case became widely known, and it remains the title of the one and only supernatural event officially acknowledged by the Hong Kong government. Okay, so that's the end of the story. If you have any thoughts, you can leave your comments down below, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!